Thank you so much, Rume. It is time for book chat today on Wake Up Nigeria, and the conversation will be with Mustapha Enesi, an award-winning short story writer exploring marginalized and minority voices characterized by complex familial and communal relationships. Now, in 2021, his short story Cassandra won the K&L Prize for African Literature and Our Lake Creative Trust Award with Safety Pins Are Good Omens. This story was later published in Harvard University's Transition magazine. There's a lot to say about him. His works, they have since appeared in publications such as Harvard University's Transition magazine, as I mentioned, and Literary magazine, Ishele magazine, and others. It is indeed a pleasure to have you in the studio with us. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. I'm excited to be here.
I can imagine. The excitement is mine as well. Reading this book, I cry at the feet of my other body. That's what it's called. And Mustapha, and other stories I should add. I cry at the feet of my other body and other stories. And you know, the strangest thing about this book, I must say, is that it was written by a man. That's the plot twist for me. I mean, this book is so personal. It's like a woman telling the story of her life, and not just a woman, several women sharing their experiences. Now, sometimes when I read books about women that are written by men, there's a sense of detachment. Mm-hmm. There's always something that they can't seem to understand. How were you able to research enough to get this book right?
So I grew up with a lot of women around me. My sisters, my mom, my aunties.
How many sisters?
I have 2 sisters.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So writing this story, I had to do a lot of research, and I kept telling myself, like, can I do this? Can I like achieve what I want to achieve with these stories, right? And it was difficult because I am a man, and writing stories about women is very delicate, very sometimes complex.
Yeah.
So I was trying so hard to, like, what if it comes off as I was unable to achieve what I set out to achieve? And that feeling was something that I had to battle with for a long time. And right now, I think from your mouth, I can say that I was able to achieve my goal.
You were able to achieve your goal. I'm going to tell you this. And the emotions you were able to express through these women is what I found really, really amazing. I mean, say for example, you're talking about Simbi.
Yeah.
Simbi, and you know, the Simbi that was the second wife, and the Simbi that was working for Mrs. Silifa. Are they the same person?
No, they are not.
They are not?
No.
Okay.
No. So one thing I did was some of the characters were recurring in a way that I wanted one character to live a certain life, and that character should go on to live another life in another setting.
Right. Now it makes sense, because there were times when certain characters appeared in a different way, and I'm like, okay, is this supposed to be like? I'm so glad you've explained that, because it was actually kind of like a gray area for me, but now I totally understand what you were trying to do, and that's cool artistically. It is. Okay, so for those who are just coming across this book, I Cry at the Feet of My Other Body, I'm going to let Mustapha tell us about it, just a summary of what the book is about.
All right, so I Cry at the Feet of My Other Body. It's a collection of short stories, 13 short stories about women. It chronicles the lives of women who are trying to fight against the patriarchy in a society that often rewards patriarchal norms.
So that's basically what it is. Now, each story, I know you said you did your research, but each story, I'm wondering what inspired each one, starting from the very first. Because you went from young people to middle-aged people to elderly people. The one that really struck me was the Alzheimer, like the way our life now seems to be in a loop. And I don't know if I'm preempting, but the last line seemed like it was at that moment she passed on. Was that it? When you said her body stiffened?
And then she felt
Was that the idea?
That was supposed to be idea, but then it's open, right? It's an open-ended ending. It's supposed to elicit some sort of feeling where feeling complete at last could either mean death or could mean that they come to a sudden realization about what real life actually is. So I left it open to interpretation, but most people think, oh, she died. And that's fine.
You know, that lady, and it also talks about what women harbor within.
Yeah.
The fact that she was raped by her cousin, which obviously haunted her through her life. The fact that she doesn't love her husband.
Yeah.
And how that kept recurring. And on the other hand, the man is believing they are madly in love with each other. Supported her with the fact that she was childless.
Yeah.
She never saw her child again. The first, the second one rather, the one she abandoned. She believes the child died. Saint Michael and Rose.
Yeah.
That's what she named her 3 children, who of course weren't alive. I feel like you're looking at me like I'm speaking Greek. You really need to read this book to have a clear understanding of what it is about. So now, I'm just going to ask you this. Now, researching all of these stories, were you able to speak to women who had experienced this? Or did you get the inspiration or ideas from books or stories you've heard?
I think
because I know research takes different turns for writers.
Yeah. For me, it's mostly the stories I've read. So I like reading Jhumpa Lahiri. She's an Indian writer. I also like reading Yun Li. She's a Chinese writer. These are like my favorite writers. I also like reading Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. They are amazing. So they kind of try to capture the lives of women with sensitivity, with so much care. True. And I look up to them when I do my writing. So when I was writing these stories, I had to do a lot of research. And most of the research I did were reading. Right, reading other stories that are like my stories or like the stories that I want to write. But more importantly, one thing that sort of stood out to me while I was doing the research for this story was I tried to, I also use Google mostly. There was this story I wrote about a pregnant woman who kept losing her baby, kept having miscarriages. I had to Google, what does it mean to be a pregnant woman? What are the effects? What do women go through? And I had to like embody this, right? But then again, I also experienced pregnancy when my sisters were pregnant. So I experienced like morning sickness, the first trimester,
and
third trimester.
The frustration
exactly.
And pain and
so
all.
Personal experiences, books, and Google.
Oh, wow. See, you did a good job. I'm going to tell you this. It's enough that each time I read a chapter, I would go again and say, I'm seeing a male name. Maybe it's a lady that is bearing Mustapha.
Yeah.
Honestly, that was my thoughts. You did a great job. I recommend this book. It's called I Cry at the Feet of My Other Body. It's a book that every woman would read, and there's a story or 2 or 3 or even 4 that you can totally identify with. Well done. That's all I can say. Well done. Where can we get those books?
It's available nationwide in all bookstores. Roving Heights. It's also available globally. Barnes & Noble, Amazon. It's available on Book Connoisseur. And there's one other place. I can't remember right now. Page something. I can't remember.
But it's good to know that it's accessible. And so you can also get yours. Go check it out. Mustapha Enesi, I Cry at the Feet of My Other Body, and all the stories. With that, we've come to the end of the book chat this morning. Thank you so much for your time, Mustapha.
Thank you.
We'll be back in a bit right after this break. To stay with us. This is Nigeria.